Welcome to the So I Heard podcast brought to you by Tiff and Dan. This is the podcast where we bring you overheard snippets from conversations that we've heard on the streets of Toronto. We're unscripted and unhinged, and we're speculating where these overheard conversations will go. So listen every time when you hear that So I Heard prompt for that next overheard snippet. Stay tuned and find out where we go this week because we have no idea.
All right. What a week it's been, eh, Tiff?
Let me tell you, what a week. There's so much going on in the city, and you bet I've been eavesdropping on everybody.
Yeah, my ears have been prickling for a good sound. The first one here, so I heard, Wyndham is definitely an old man name. Growing up, I was told by my mom that my friend's name was a made-up name.
You know, I've never heard that name Windham before. Like, have you heard of that name?
No, it seems like Wyndham, it truly does seem like a fake name. It's like you're taking two random things and just pushing it together.
You know, I'm just sitting thinking of those parents sitting at the dinner table there. One's just saying how much that they love wind. You know what? I've actually been part of a conversation where all someone has talked about is the wind. And then on the other hand, ham. Who doesn't like a good ham, you know? I mean, not me because I don't eat meat, but...
Ham's really good. I love me a honey glazed ham. But I'm really trying to think like the parents. If I'm the parents here and I'm thinking like, this is my daughter, because these were two women. This is my daughter. She says she's going to go over to Wyndham's house. I'm thinking, you're lying. You're going to get pregnant. Something bad's happening. Drugs are going out.
Do we think it's a hard H there? Or is it a Wyndham? Or like a little silent H? Maybe it's a I don't know. I don't know what the cultural origin is.
Yeah. Wyndham. Almost like it could be like Gundam. Or maybe there's the silence is on the W. So it's Indum.
Oh, Indum. You know, pronunciation is quite important these days. You know, very important to pronounce people's names right.
I figure like as you get older, pronunciation becomes more important. But when you're younger, you're trying to cut down as much as you can. Like lol saves so much more time.
I've heard that the LOL is being canceled by the kids these days.
Really?
Yeah, it's the laugh cry emoji apparently is canceled. This is what the TikTok tells me.
That seems almost as fake as the name Wyndham.
Heard it here first, folks. Wyndham, LOL, laugh cry emoji, canceled.
It's like the whole thing of they were saying like some what's it like Gucci or there's a terminology for millennials that it's just like this made up word, very much like this name. It just seems unreal.
You know what's unreal is I don't know if I would want to name my child after two things that don't make sense together. Or were they thinking like this kid's gonna go far as a flying pig? That's what I think of when I hear the name Wyndham or Windham. I'm going with the hard H.
Yeah.
I like this name.
I like the ham portion of this name, but I figure like if you're a parent, like you're Gwyneth Paltrow, you're naming your kid Apple. If I'm a parent, I want to name my kid something powerful like Machine Gun Bob.
Yeah, I see where you're getting your funding from. We are not sponsored by the NRA. I have to say though, Wyndham has endless possibilities for nicknames. So, you know, maybe this is the parents were going somewhere like Winnie, Win. All I do is win. Oh my God. He already has his song or she or they, however this person's going to go by. Or Ham, little Hammy, little pig. I don't know.
It's hammer time.
Oh, wow.
Wyndham is a good name. Probably more so a last name if you're into sports. You know, look at Ham is going as quick as the wind.
Or I'm going ham on this ham.
There's a lot more negative connotations towards Wyndham in terms of the body image.
I don't know, you know, fast as the wind, squeaky as the ham, as they say. That's a saying, right?
That's a saying.
I don't know.
I just when I think
we're ESL.
We are ESL. That is a good point. Maybe my ESL ears heard Wyndham as maybe it's actually William. You know, maybe people just have accents, and I'm like colorblind, but for accents, I just can't hear it.
You know, anything could be a name these days. X, whatever the Elon Musk child, Exion. No, I don't know what his name is. I don't think it's English language. What other weird names come to mind?
Oh man, now I'm on this whole. I don't know how to pronounce that rapper's name, X Extension 69 or
I think
something.
you got it. I think you got it.
Oh man, I've been getting better. Pronunciation is very important in your old age. Um, I don't know. I just think like there's a lot of rappers have their kid's name as like Baby Blue Portia or something. Like that's pretty weird.
Yeah, they're really just setting their kids up for success,
Nice, very optimistic of you.
failure.
Failure, but they have money, so once you have money, your name could be Yellow Couch Submarine, and you'd be living a very successful life with your parents' backing.
Honestly, Dan, you and I were pretty lucky. Two immigrant kids coming here, and we didn't end up with some random name because we saw the first cartoon and we chose it. Like I wanted to name my little brother Chucky because I loved the Rugrats growing up. And
Oh
you know what?
wow.
My parents were smart enough to not go with that one.
This is a true story. I really loved Power Rangers, and a lot of the times, at least within my own circles, a lot of East Asian kids don't have middle names. So I donned the name Jason because I loved the Red Ranger.
Oh wow.
Yeah, DJ
JJ.
Lee.
Oh, DJ Lee. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay, Wyndham. Wyndham. What if we went with like a middle name of Firefish?
Wow.
We got to go with all the elements here. Like
How about
maybe
like Wyndham Earth Fire?
doesn't fit. You have to choose some kind of food.
Oh, right, an
It's
element
element
in
of
food.
food. That's you heard it here first, folks. That's how you should name your new Gen. Wait, what would after Gen Z be called?
I assume they go back to the
A?
beginning of the alphabet.
Wow. Oh, okay. That's actually I need to Google this after. I actually don't know. What are they gonna do after Gen Z?
Yeah, because the order actually makes no sense. You got Boomer, Millennial. I'm skipping one, I think.
No, Gen X. You skipped Gen X.
Yeah, so Boomer, Gen X, Millennial, Gen Z. So it's kind of like those things where there's like that math question where it's like 1, 3, blank, 7. You just gotta fill in the blanks there.
You know what humans just love doing? Naming things. We gotta name tropical disasters. Just like, oh, hey, here's Hurricane Hillary over there. Come on by. Hurricane Bob. They just gotta go through the entire alphabet. We just love naming shit.
Yeah, so the one
It's a weird obsession that humans have.
the one benefit of Wyndham is that they'll never get their name on the hurricane.
I don't know if they make it down there to the W's. You never. I think Hurricane Wyndham is a great name for a hurricane.
Wyndham is more terrifying than Wilbert. Hurricane Wilbert, I'm standing
Aw.
outside just waiting to catch those waves.
I'd love to befriend Hurricane Wilbert. He sounds like a warm, wet hug.
Yeah, he just sounds like he's just like a super soft spoken, nice kid who's just trying to be like, this is my summer of Wilbert. I'm gonna get so jacked, I'm gonna get so tough, and then September rolls by. Hey Wilbert, I love you. You're so squishy. Game over.
You know what hurricanes love being called? Squishy. And so do meteorologists.
I didn't know that was a term for meteorologists. It seems very scientific. I would not question it.
I do have a bachelor's degree honors, may I add, in science, so just trust me on this.
It's true. I didn't get honors, so I trust you tenfold. It's quite the pedigree to get.
All right, Wyndham, we wish you the best of luck there.
When I'm speaking of going back to September, around these parts, it is Fresh Week. It's orientation. People are going back to school. I was around Toronto Metropolitan University (TMU), and it was a small conversation between two boys. It feels so sexual, said boy one, and boy two goes, "Oh God, there's so much sex."
Sex. Yep, that's just plaguing those Tamus. Those
Timus got those reputation of all the sex.
Wow. I also love that you refer to them as little boys. Dan, are we really that old now?
I looked at them. I'm like, you look like you're 12, but you're speaking like you're 18.
That is the age of consent. So at least they have that going for them. But overhearing that conversation, I feel like if I was there walking by, I just look down and like they don't know what's ahead of them. There's a lot of scary stuff going on in Frosh Week.
All they have is no responsibilities and so much testosterone and adrenaline. I was just like, if I had that much adrenaline, the world would be my oyster. But I'm just always tired.
Yeah, don't you love when back in the day, walking on the streets when you hit the Tammuz at your university, college, whatever the kids call it these days, and you're like, yeah, I'm an adult. And you realize much later on, you're like, oh, I knew nothing about the real world.
Literally, these are children amongst adults. You just look at them and you're like, you're about to waste $20,000 to $40,000 on a skill set that most likely will not be transferable to your actual job.
I beg to differ. I just used my honors degree to prove that squishy is a scientific term for meteorologists. So, boom, money well spent there, Dan.
Boom, I got squished. Yeah, that's all I think about during my university days is that I was in a poli sci class I shouldn't have been in, and I had to write a 3,000 word paper. And it was the last week of school before I like essentially graduated, and I finished watching the entire season of Boy Meets World on YouTube, and I submitted a very terrible paper. But you know what I wasn't thinking about in that time? So much sex.
Oh, there's just so much sex everywhere. I mean, they're not wrong. Sex, also another scientific word for gender.
Ah, what a nice spin there.
So there is a lot of
It's
sex going
yeah.
on, you could say.
Maybe I wrongfully identified what their conversation was about. It was they were just pointing out all the genders on campus.
Yes. They were just being scientific and not referring to what people identify with and just, their biological parts. That's what they meant by it feels so sexual. They could just, they're like, whoa, that person has a sex organ. Whoa, another sex organ there.
Yeah,
Sex organs everywhere.
these guys could have been homeschooled, where the only sex, it feels weird to say, is the people in their family. It's their mom, dad, and potential siblings, and or dogs and cats.
I'd love to just know what these little boys, as you refer to them as, maybe they did observe some sex. I've honestly have actually never walked through the streets of Toronto Metropolitan University. Are people just having sex in the bushes? Is that what city university kids are doing?
You know, the TV out there, and I feel like saying TV ages me like 25 years, but the TV.
No, I think the audience knew, Dan.
Oh, okay, just wanted to check. The TV makes it seem like sex is happening every corner, nook, and cranny when you're in potentially a UK school, or I don't know why UK specifically, but that's just the thing that came to mind, and or a university campus. It's just everywhere.
I mean, have you seen British people? They're pretty hot. That accent gets me every time.
It is. I will say I oddly like a German accent. Just
A German accent.
It's just German, or most importantly, a Boston accent.
Oh wow. Okay, we went all over the place here. So you really like timely sex on time, just strict to the point there. And Boston, I don't know what Boston's got going on, but
It's
got a little rough around the edges, I guess they're down.
it's a lot of funky R's. I feel like two Bostonians would be like, actually, there's no R's in sexual or sex, so I would not have noticed.
He's not going to get turned on by the word sex, folks, in a Boston accent.
Yeah. I need to hear something with a car or harbor. That a habo over there. But yeah, very sexy stuff.
All right, but you know what I do hope all those little boys are doing when they're at university is reading. So the other day, so I heard on the subway, someone asked, "Hey, what are you reading?" Person looks over. Oh, Hamsters for Dummies.
Wow, that's Hamsters for Dummies. I just don't know. Like, do you just purchase a hamster, and you don't know what to do, so you just let them roam around your condo or house like they're another human being.
You know what I appreciate about this person is that they are just so self-aware, and they're like, you know what I am? And got two thumbs, a dummy. And you know what I also have? A hamster. You know what I'm gonna get? Hamsters for dummies.
It's Hamsters for Dummies is you're truly, you have no shame. You're like, world, I somehow landed ass backwards into having or owning a bunch of hamsters, and I feed them human food because I have no idea what's going on.
Got to get right to the point. They don't want to waste any time. They're reading this on the subway. They have no shame. They want to tell the world, like me, a proud hamster owner, I may be a dummy, but I am not going to be a dumb hamster dad or mom or aunt
Oh, there you go.
or uncle or cousin, stepdad. There's a lot of family terms that I think I realize I could go through
Hamster
here.
friend, hamster lover.
Godparent.
You're got him. We went full circle here. But what I'm curious is what's in this dummy book. Like, is it pointing out a hamster is a small rodent? It should not live in hot places.
Is that where you think that they should live? In hot places?
No, they shouldn't.
Oh, that they should not. Clearly, I need this book because I clearly don't know where hamsters need to live. I do know that hamsters will breed like crazy, have a lot of sex. Maybe that's also what those little Ryerson boys or Tamu boys were referring to. A lot of people sneaking pets into their dorms,
And hey, maybe I'm someone who's like, some people say they don't see color. I don't see sex. Maybe their sex was hamster, and that's why I said they were so little.
It's great to be species blind and just let things refer to all kinds of species.
Species blind, I feel like you're walking into a recipe for disaster. Literally.
I might need to read Species for Dummies. Whoever made that dummy series, like, it's actually amazing how endless that series is. I didn't know they had a Hamsters for Dummies, but I bet they have a dummy series for everything.
Yeah, but also you gotta think, like, the dummy series makes sense pre-hardcore internet. That guy could have just put Hamsters for Dummies on his phone. No one would be able to recognize that he's reading a dummies book.
Oh, maybe this was, a bit of a play here. Like, maybe he was trying to flirt with people. People love a man that is literate. And, he wants to say, look at me, world. Not only am I literate, but love the fuzzy creatures.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm warm caring, but only for small fuzzy things.
Yeah, we're going into a whole different world of sex right now. This is like some fuzzy. We're pretty much at furries.
He's saying, like, I can take care of you if you're small and fuzzy. Let's not get up to dog size here or, horse size. Like, if I'm going to have a potential partner, it's got to be small, fuzzy, warm, likes vegetables and seeds.
Are we saying that this person can handle something small because this person was reading Hamsters for Dummies?
You're right. I am totally taking the wrong angle here. Maybe all they've known is actually they're actually a genius for the giant animals, and they're trying to expand their horizons this year.
Yeah, it's if I was a small furry creature on the TTC or wherever you saw these people, and I saw this person reading Hamsters for Dummies, I would be so disgusted. I'd be like, this person is not ready for my love.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. Or I could be like, wow, they're really trying to get to know me, the other side here. And they're, like I said, being self-aware that their dummy is can be attractive.
Being self-aware is sexy. That is, you are true. If people can understand their faults, I'd be like, I don't care if this person doesn't know how to take care of a small rodent, but that's pretty hot.
Toronto dating scene here, folks. That's the standards these days. Be literate and just be self-aware if you're a dummy. That's all we need.
So that's all we've heard this week on the So I Heard podcast. If you're a fan and you like to hear us talk about Wyndham and furries and TMU universities talking about sex, you can tune in again next time.